Hello and welcome to Lean and Agile Project Management Review and Overview. At this time, if you have not already printed out your handouts, please stop the recording and do that now. This is Tara Van Zant Stern with SSD Global Solutions. Lean and Agile projects strive to make things better, faster, and more cost-effective. You'll remember that cost effectiveness has three different categories: profit, savings, and cost avoidance. Please stop the recording now and access your handout on the project lifecycle, as well as the handout that shows the PDCA and the DMAIC model before continuing. Please note in the project lifecycle the 4 phases. In conjunction with the project lifecycle, we also look at PDCA and DMAIC. Please take a moment or stop the presentation now to see the synergy between the project lifecycle, the PDCA model, and the DMAIC model. Finally, we have the typical Agile model. You should be looking at that handout now before continuing. All three models are very concerned with the before and after picture. This requires effective metrics. Effective metrics are established in different places in the various models. For example, in the PDCA, they are generally established in Plan of the Plan, Do, Check, Act. In the DMAIC model, these effective metrics are generally established in Measure: Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. In good basic project management, metrics may be a form of control and developed throughout the project. Finally, in Agile, metrics are often created on an as-needed basis. Examples of metrics include return on investment, sigma, and benchmarking. Another example of a metric is Balanced Scorecard. Please stop the presentation now and locate your handout on Balanced Scorecard. You'll notice on the Balanced Scorecard there are 4 quadrants: learning and growth, which is often called training; financial; customer, which is often called customer service; and finally business, process, or operations process, which is sometimes simply called process. The concept behind establishing effective metrics in the scorecard method is to come up with the 5 things that relate to each one of these categories and measure the as-is current picture. Project plans. Project plans in the PDCA model and the DMAIC model, as well as basic project management, typically use the WBS, which stands for Work Breakdown Structure. The following 2 slides, you see an example of a work breakdown structure using the DMAIC model. Also, from this work breakdown structure in the PDCA, the DMAIC, and basic project management, 2 charts are formed: the Gantt chart, which is a visual depiction of how the project is going. The WBS can also be used to create a PERT chart, which not only shows you the critical path, but the tasks that can happen in tandem. Whereas PDCA has a tendency to use WBS and therefore create charts such as the PERT chart that you just saw and the Gantt chart, the slide previous to that, Agile prefers to use something called the burn down chart. Looking at this example, you can see that the burn down chart shows the work that has yet to be completed. Project management, the DMAIC, as well as the PDCA, often prefers status reports to be weekly, or the project plan is simply based on looking at the Gantt chart and seeing what progress has been made, whereas Agile prefers to use daily scrums. Remember that scrums are 15-minute meetings where the team shares their progress and makes commitments, and they're usually done standing up. In a scrum meeting, there are only 3 questions. What did you do yesterday? What did you do today? And is there anything in your way? Scrum also thinks in iterations. The work breakdown structure thinks in terms of task. Task 1, Task 1.1, Task 1.2, perhaps Task 1.3.1, etc. Agile thinks in terms of iterations. These are short development cycles for 2 to 4 weeks. These are often referred to as sprints and last 2 to 4 weeks as mentioned in the earlier slide. During that one cycle, however, no changes are allowed in the activity and no changes in staff. After this 2 to 4 week sprint, a sprint review is performed. The whole team participates, everyone is invited, and a short summary is given. Following the sprint review is a sprint retrospective. These sprint retrospectives are similar to Scrum meetings. There are 3 questions. What do we want to start doing? What do we want to stop doing? And what do we want to continue to keep doing? Project Manager and Scrum Master. Please stop the video presentation now and access your slide on the Project Manager's role. You'll notice that the Project Manager's role is very defined. Please take a moment and study this slide. The project charter is also very defined, and here is an example of several things that should be included on the project charter. Please take a moment and look at this slide. The Scrum Master is also a project manager. However, the focus is different. The Scrum Master takes the role of the servant leader. Although the Scrum Master is following pretty much the path of the project manager, the servant leader, Scrum Master, works to remove impediments. The Scrum Master also makes sure that the team has all the necessary tools and resources to make the project run more smoothly. So the theme of the Scrum Master is slightly different than the project manager. However, the actual task that you just reviewed in 2 previous slides are basically the same. Agile project charters are more like proposals. Many times you see this thinking at the end of define in the DMAIC model. An Agile project charter is often asking permission to move forward. Both Lean and Agile projects work to reduce waste. Lean and Agile promote structured brainstorming. That's brainstorming around specific topics. Examples of structured brainstorming include Tim Woods, SIPOC, and FMEA thinking. Please stop the video presentation at this time and locate those slides in your handouts before continuing. Tim Woods is an example of structured brainstorming. The purpose of this particular structured brainstorming exercise is to identify waste. SIPOC, on the other hand, is a structured brainstorming exercise used to identify the major stakeholders in your project. Both SIPOC and Tim Woods can also be used as a mini problem-solving model or an onboarding tool. Another example of brainstorming is FMEA thinking. Failure mode effect analysis is a popular form that is used in aerospace and healthcare. However, FMEA thinking takes the heart of the form and determines risk and controls. You'll notice in the first column it says function, which could also be called activity, and in the second column is simply the opposite of that activity. The other three columns work in conjunction with column 2. Current process controls are simply things you have in place to keep the potential cause of failure from happening. Thank you. This concludes our Lean and Agile Project Management Review and Overview. Please complete the question and answer sheet that you received in your email. On the question and answer sheet, the instructions to send to homework@ssdglobal.net will be included. Thank you and have a great day.